everyone, in today's video we will be sorting out a size issue with my squares and also doing a viewer request for a stitch. So yes, as you can see, two of my squares have ended up too small. Not quite sure how it happened, but if it happened to me, it might happen to you. So I thought I'd show you what I'm going to do to get over this little issue. So I'm going to grab a piece of fabric and just make another back. I think this is going to be the simplest way to do it. So I'm just going to pop a pin in to stop it from moving and just rip around the edges just to give it that nice frayed look. And it is just cotton, so it's not going to add too much bulk. It's very thin cotton and that fits so much nicer. I'm going to do a little bit more embellishing on it because it does look a bit odd now. It just finishes, so maybe a bit of lace. I'll find something to put on there. So I was going to do this bit like off camera, but I thought, do you know what, I might as well do it with you. So I've added this cluster that I had already made, and then I've made like a little butterfly, dragonfly, whatever it is, and I thought I'm going to make another one because they're so cute. So I'm going to show you how I did it because, you know, obviously it's new to me. So the middle was a bullion knot. Now I'm not the best at this, but you come up and you go back down, but then you turn and come back up where you went in. Don't pull your thread all the way through, your needle all the way through, and then you wrap around here. Now there are people that do bullion knots like a million times better than I do, but that's how I do mine. And then pull it towards you and just sort of get all the other little threads out of the way. I just sort of wiggle it with my needle like that until it looks like I want it to look ish, and then go down, and that was my center. Now I thought for my wings I could do a couple of like daisy stitches. Didn't really work out how I wanted them to, but I might go back and fill in a bit more purple. I just wanted it to have a little pop of colour on here because there's a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue in the whole book. So my daisy stitch is up, round, pull it through, and then go back down to stop the knot from coming undone. That little bit is just keeps catching. And then I did another one underneath like that. I'm going to cut that off. It's driving me bonkers. Go away. You keep getting in my way. So the other little wing, I mean, I could have done little dragonflies, just made the arms longer, but I decided to do butterflies. Round we go, pull it up, go back down. So yeah, if you end up with your squares not being the right size, then that is quite an easy way to fix that. And up. Let's try and make them the same size, Carol. Loop it round. I can do basic stitches. Oh, that's nowhere near the same size as the other one. What's happened? Pulled it too tight. Pulled it too tight. There we go. It doesn't look much like a butterfly, but I know what it is. I know. There we go. Just knot it off. And to make my little yellow eyes in the centre, did I put, oh, I did put a knot. I just put, oops, turn it round the right way. I just put a French knot in. Now, I know this is a massive big needle, but I can't make this thread any smaller, and it is a straight needle, so I'm hoping it's going to go sort of through. Yeah, I think I can get away with the size if the needle is like straight, like it doesn't get like way big at the end, and then it makes the French knot a bit easier. You can pull it through. That's what I've learned. Trial and error, guys, trial and error. This one's slightly smaller, so I'm just going round twice. And I have trouble with this bit. Pull it through. See, if you've got a big fat eye on it, like this one, you really struggle to get your cotton and your eye through. But I thought that it did work slightly better. Not that off. Now I may go back with the purple. See, it's very thick. It's like a thread. I can't split it up. Where did my purple go? Because I think, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in a bit more of his wing there, because it just looks a bit weird to me. It looks like he's like a see-through butterfly. And I could do a different colour, but I've got this one on my needle. I'm just doing some little straight stitches, what they call seed stitches, but I'm just keeping them all in the same direction, just to fill in that little bit just there. Oh, come on, come on. It's finding where to come up underneath, isn't it? It's quite tricky. And I think that looks loads better. Mind you not. I should have filled it in first and then done my knot over the top. That's what I'm realising now. And I might do an extra. I can find the right place to come up. There we go. Do a little stitch in both of these just to fill it in. And I think that's going to look way better. I'm going to do the other one as well in a second. Yep, a bit more there. See, you can mess about a bit. Right, so finish that one. And I think it looks way better with them in, and it will fit on my page now. So super happy. This one was my other too small one. So what I've got is a piece of similar fabric that is the right size. Shh, we all do it. And what I thought I'd do was just embellish underneath. Oh, I'm going to put this on as well, just for another layer. I don't know, you know, just layer it up. And then I sort of thought this might look quite nice along the top as well. So I'm like, I'll move that down a minute. No, I like it up there. So I'm just gonna pin it, because it's gonna wiggle. It's gonna wiggle. I'm so close to finishing this book. You know what it's like? I'm just gonna put another pin in because it keeps twisting. So I'm gonna do just a running stitch up here. I could have couched something on, but I've done a lot of couching on this one. which is great fun. I do like couching, I've decided. It's like super fun. Because you never know, really, where it's going to end up. You just go with the sort of where the wool or whatever you're stitching with decides to go. I think that's what I like. Just stabbed myself there. Ow. Keeping it flat. There we go. So we'll do that first. We'll see how it looks. And I think this is going to look kind of cool if I did it that way up. It's not, oh, how about if I put it underneath? Ooh, okay. We'll do that. This is turning out to be quite an intricate little page. Some of them are basic, some of them are a bit more interactive. I don't know what the word is. Let's just see how we get on with this. Yeah, it's going to be tricky because this is quite fine. Just think it needs an edge. Okay, now I do realise that that little bit is not attached, so I will come back. So I'm now onto the fabric, but I wasn't at the start. Let's just do one stitch. So I'll come back and we will do something in that corner. Move your fin. That's his fin, that is. It is about to get stitched down if I'm not careful. A bit fiddly. Not gonna lie, a bit fiddly. My own fault, because I should have measured my page properly. Not quite sure how it ended up, how I ended up with two. I must have just measured one and then measured it wrong and then did my next square off that measurement as well. Because I actually took most of this downstairs and did it while I watched TV. Right, we also need to stitch down here because obviously this is a new piece as well. So just to keep it straight, I'm just going to pop that pin in. So I'm thinking, just for that corner, making a little baby cluster. So I've got some bits out of my box. This is all the bits that I've been using during this project. So a little bit. Let's get a bit with the blue one. There we go. And I'm just going to get a random, oh, doesn't want to break. Random collection, it does not want to break. There we go. Of pieces. Maybe, sorry, I will show you what I'm digging around in. See, something like that, but it'd be way too big. So that's what I'm looking for. Maybe a bit of this. I think I'm already thinking about a Just Because book. Because I've got that in my brain now. Let's have a little bit of this lace. Just add it all up. Now I know I've got some net in here somewhere. Not that blue stuff. There. Is what I used on the fish. Just screwed it up. Only want a little bit. Okay, that should be enough. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to pop this. I might fold that in the corner. Like this. Pile them all on. I'm not going to put them together first. Screw that up. Put that on top. Put the lace on top. And stitch it down. I'm going to put a big cross in the centre. And because that is still sticking up, I'm going to come up and underneath, I'm just going to sew it together down so that it just looks like it's down. And you can't see my big stitches. So that's covered that corner, and we will be going around the edges and stitching it in, so I'm not that worried that I haven't gone right to the edge. How about that? I think that's really cool. Okay, so we are on to the requested video, and this is for Caroline from Caroline on the Hillside, and anybody else who is struggling with the feather stitch. Now, I have been doing this wrong since I learnt it, and this is how I now do it. So you do a stitch, come up through the loop and just pull it. Now I was going down and making, like going in and making another sort of knot to keep that stitch down. And you don't do that. You don't do it. All you do is you go to the side again and back up through your loop. And that is your feather stitch. Now, I don't know why that took me so long to figure out, but I love it now. This is like one of my favourite stitches now. So just remember, just hold your loop, not to actually stitch it down. Just go to the side and do the next one. I mean, that book was rubbish for telling me. I don't know who saw that one, but I've got a book that tells me stitches and honestly could not figure it out. And I've also watched people do it, still couldn't get it. But I've got it. I have got it now. So I hope that this helps anybody who's struggling with this stitch, because it's a really cool stitch. And once you get used to it, the temptation to tie that knot down is quite strong. But there you go. That's it, Caroline. Now, I hope I've inspired you as much as you've inspired me just lately, because, you know, your glue booking has really encouraged me to get mine back out, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's just so weird that I'd forgotten how much I enjoy just gluing. Like, not just collaging, but just gluing stuff down. So if you're like me and love a bit of gluing, pop over, see my friend Caroline at Caroline on the Hillside. I'll obviously leave the link for her channel below this video in my description box. So if you want to go and have a look at what she's up to, I'm sure she'd be delighted to have you over there. Go and give her some support. And I think I'll wrap it up for today. I appreciate everybody who's come over and gone through this journey with me. Next week, we'll pop all this together and make our little book. See you soon, guys. Bye for now.